Okay, a very lovely morning to you all right here from Sodok Crown Court, where the bribery trial of former Minister of Petroleum, Diezani Alison Madueke Olatimbo Ayinde, and Diezani's elder brother, Bishop Doye Agama, is reaching the climax. Last week, nobody knew we were still going to be here today, this week. By the way, yesterday was bank holiday. Last week, Monday, I told you I probably definitely won't be here on Monday yesterday. So yesterday was bank holiday here in the UK, and the judge was very brought in a lighter mood on Friday before sending the jurors home. He told the jurors, don't come on Monday because it's bank holiday. That was a lighter note. Everybody really laughed because, yes, after working all week, she thanked them for their hard work all through last week. And he said, don't come on Monday because it's bank holiday. That means telling them, do not show up yesterday. Hopefully, none of them was there yesterday. And if they did, of course, they will have met an empty, a locked sort of crown court. But apart from that, it's all now. Let's now get back straight to business. It's now all context. When Olatimbo Ayinde's barrister was closing his speech, it now looked like a very distant past. He said it was context. He was delivering, he was making his argument and putting everything into context. And while he was tearing apart the submissions of the crown, saying, look, everything, the shopping, the bribery allegation, the crown, they were just taking things out of context. So he was arguing. So this is in context. Now we are nearing the very end. This is week number 2. The jurors have been out since Monday of last week. We thought they were going to do it on Friday, but they kept everybody waiting. They still kept everybody waiting. There was no delivery last Friday. Every time there was an announcement over the court public address system, everybody's ear was, very to the ground listening. Are they going to say, come to court number 2? But nothing like that until 3 o'clock when the jurors were called in and the judge thanked them. Like I mentioned, the judge cracked that joke just to lighten their mood. It's all about context to say Monday is bank holiday, which was yesterday. He said, don't come on Monday, please. Take your time to rest. But before they left, she was also very quick to add, remember, do not talk to yourselves. He said, your work for the week is done. Do not speak to yourself until you are back here in the jury room, 10:15, just over an hour away. The court still looks very light now. There's no rushing. In about an hour's time, we're going to find a long queue here because today is the beginning of the working week. And normally every working week, new jurors coming. But the jurors for our case, the jurors for the Diezani's case, the judge told them, we see you today at 10:15. But like I said, she told them, as I've always compared this trial, this marathon trial to boxing. In boxing, the referee says 2 things. Defend yourself at all times. And secondly, the referee always tells the boxers, obey my instructions at all times. So the judge, after cracking that joke to say, look, don't come tomorrow, don't come yesterday, the judge reminded them, you must remember my instructions. Don't talk to yourselves. No 2 jurors must discuss on the way home or when they are coming. He said, your work will resume when all of you come back here this morning at 10:15. So, like in boxing, the judge told them after the joker said, look, do not obey my instructions at all times. She didn't put it there, but she said, but you must remember what I told you. Do not talk to anybody else. And that is why every time the jurors assemble, they take oath. to say that they have not spoken to anybody else and that they have not discussed with themselves. So their work will begin. Their work, the reset button will be pressed again this morning. We don't know where they are. Everybody last week was trying to do a lot of permutations because remember on Thursday we had that jury note on count number one. So we don't know whether they were working sideways, whether they were working chronologically from number one to count 8 or backward from count 8 to count 1. Nobody knows. And also still in the spirit of context, even on Friday, I was speaking to one of the defendants before the judge came. I won't tell you which one, they really had to lighten their mood with their supporting. But one of the defendants I was talking to, we were talking about the premiership, whether she was going to, whether she support Arsenal or not. But she said, no, I don't support Arsenal, but my son support Arsenal. So people were still keeping themselves, even though inside that tension is there, not knowing when the judge will come back. Because as I've mentioned before, when there is a verdict, you're just going to hear the announcement over the public address system to say, the jury have a verdict. So everybody rushes down. Apart from break time, even going to toilet time, it can be very crucial because once the jury have their verdict, within 5 minutes, they are called to court and the foreman or the forewoman will stand up. But having time to lighten their mood is very, very good. And it was very nice of the judge to crack that joke on Friday by saying, do not come on Monday because it's bank holiday. It's always good to joke like that so that feels the tension a bit. Remember when Usain Bolt was, used to compete, he'll be joking, he'll be making those dance moves. But once a couple of times they interviewed him, he said, look, even though I'm smiling, even though I'm making that moves, even though I'm dancing, he said, but inside, he said, those jokes, those dance moves were his own way of dealing with the tension inside before he then gets to zero down. So on Friday, while I was talking to one of the defendants, talking about the premiership, which side she supports, and saying no, I don't support Arsenal, it's my son that support Arsenal. We had that joke before the judge sat on Friday. So it's good, and it's good also of the judge and also the defendants team. They are here. I was speaking to one of them in the elevator as well. I said, what do you feel? She said, oh, they are very hopeful. So everybody, even though everybody is lightning, smiling, but the waiting game can be killing for the defenders. I know how it is. Once they come in, the smiles are there, the people are there supporting them, even the lawyers, the barristers, the solicitors, even the court staff. Once everybody gets back to court, sometimes, the court clerk, everybody's looking, do they have a verdict? Everybody is trying to guess, what is it? Why are we here? Apart from when it is closing time, because if it's closing time, probably they haven't delivered the verdict. But today is another day. We don't know. It can happen today. It can happen anytime this week. But one thing, at some point, if they have not come back, let us say for academic sake, they haven't come back by Thursday or thereabout, the judge might call them to say, where are you? Where exactly are you? Or they will come back to the judge to say, we are stuck somewhere. So there is going to probably be some twist today or later this week. I don't foresee them going beyond this week, but as the judge told them, remember in boxing, I've compared this trial to boxing many times. The judge in boxing, the referee tells the boxers two things: defend yourself at all times, which the defendants, barristers have done, and obey my instructions at all times. So the judge had told them at the beginning of when she was sending them out that take as much time as you like. This trial has taken a long time, and the jury to be out entering week number 2. In fact, when this trial started, it was in winter. Then you could not dare to wear a shirt like I'm doing. Then we were wearing gloves, wearing hats, wearing jacket. But this trial, like somebody told me last week, that look, this trial started in winter. We've gone through or autumn. Now we are in spring and it's even looking like summer. So this trial has gone through many seasons. We were then, when it started in January, it was hardcore season in Australia Open. Now French Open is here. This trial is on, but we don't know. Anything can happen today. Anything can happen today. It can be today. Like I said, the jurors, they don't give a clue as to where they are. We don't know whether there's going to be another jury note or whether they are close to reaching a verdict. This is what nobody knows. There are 8 counts covering the 3 defendants. We don't know where they were on Thursday when they sent that jury note. So today is another day. It's going to also be like forever. But I do not foresee them going beyond Friday, but still nobody knows. The judge reiterates, take as much time. And at the end of last week, she thanked them, thank you for all your hard work this week. And then she sent them away to say, see you on Tuesday at 10:15. In about an hour's time, they will be here. The court will resume. What happens is that once the jurors come in, the jury bailiff takes the oath, and then they are sent straight to the jury room to continue their deliberation. The judge doesn't talk to them again, apart from just telling them, now go and resume your deliberation. So the jurors must definitely be on the way now if they are not already here, but I haven't seen many people. But by 10:15, the deliberations will continue. This is week number 2. It is really, really not unusual for jurors to go deep into deliberations like this. But what we don't know is like nobody knows. Nobody knows. We've speculated that it could be last Friday, but they're taking their time. They're following the judge's instruction like they do in boxing when the referee says, obey my instruction, follow my instruction at all times. So here as they come in today for this second week of the deliberations, but I really think between now and Wednesday, they might come to, they might reach a verdict. It can be today, nobody knows. It can be tomorrow, but I suspect between now and Wednesday, they might come to a verdict. And like I said, if they haven't gone anywhere, if they have not delivered by Wednesday or so, the judge might ask them, say, where are you? Tell us, what have you done? There are 8 counts you are considering. Where exactly are you? Or they themselves might come back to the judge to say, we are stuck. This is where we are. In that case, the judge will give further direction. But apart from that, I'll give you updates later in the day. And if it does happen, you definitely will see me. But do not forget, this trial started, it was winter. It started during before the Australia Open started. Now French Open has started. So this trial has gone through seasons. Then we were wearing jackets, wearing hats. Now you can't even get to put your jacket on because it's baking hot here in London. And right there in courtroom number 2, is going to be hot for the defendant. Everybody might be laughing, looking light. You've had the time to enjoy the weekend, the bank holiday, but it's not fun for them, knowing that the decision of the jurors, the 11, the 4 men and 7 women remaining, their decision will determine where they will spend the next couple of years of their life. So it cannot be easy. It cannot be easy for them, but we are laughing, we're joking with them. Their teams are with them, joking, keeping them warm, making sure that they don't carry any additional baggage of tension. But the clock will start to tick in exactly 1 hour, 2 minutes when the 11 men, the seven women and four men to deliver the verdict when they continue their deliberations in this courtroom number 2. They just go outside courtroom number 2. That's where they assemble first. Courtroom number 2, assemble first, and then take the oath. Then the judge will send them, go and continue your deliberation. But of course, they will take the oath again to say that we have not spoken with anybody over the weekend. We have not done any research We haven't checked the story, the trial on the internet. We have not spoken to ourselves. After taking the oath, straight within 3 minutes, they continue, they go back to jury room to continue their deliberations. So what are your thoughts? I am thinking this is going to be the week, definitely probably before Friday, but let's take it one day at a time, one day at a time. And hopefully I'll see you later today if it does happen today. If not, tomorrow you'll get the update from here. So right here from Sodor Crown Court, enjoy yourself. If you're here in London, enjoy the sun. It is really gorgeous. Everybody is loving it here. The sun is like you've been there in Africa or in there in Spain. Really, really lovely out there today. But when they entered courtroom number 2 for the jurors, for the defendant, for Diezani, for Olatimbo Ayinde, and for Diezani's brother who will be joining us via video link, it's not going to be fun. They want this thing over and over quick so that they can move on with their lives. So, but we have to wait for the jurors to reach a verdict, and hopefully they'll do it sooner than later and get everybody and bring this waiting game to an end. Especially remember, this case, this trial has taken more than 10 years. This investigation has taken, this bribery trial, it has taken more than 10 years to come to trial. And the judge keeps mentioning it anytime the lawyers to the said it. Diezani was first arrested in 2015. So this has taken more than 10 years to come to trial, and they want the jury to put finishing touches to it so that everybody can go home, can know where they stand, where they're going to spend the next couple of years of their life. So the waiting game, hopefully, will be over sooner than later. So I'll see you guys later today or tomorrow. If anything happens today, like I said, if the jury reach a verdict today, definitely you're going to see my face again. If not, I'll give you updates tomorrow. But by now, everybody is probably on their way. The jurors will be on their way. 10:15, they will go in, swear the oath, go to jury room, continue deliberations. Remember, last there was a twist. Juror 10 was discharged on Wednesday. So instead of 12 jurors, we have 11 left. 7 women, 4 men. 7 women, 4 men are left. Juror number 10 was discharged on Wednesday. That juror definitely doesn't need replacement. So those 11 people, those 11 jurors will be in this courtroom by 10:15 to take it away from where they stop on Friday. And this is week number 2. So I'll see you tomorrow or later today.